and the volumes are so loud. All right, so welcome back to another. Well, I wanted to share something that came to me, and I thought for those who are interested in astrology, where it's more than that, where it feels like, is it really for you? As in, do you really resonate with it? You're like, ah, because it does for me, and there's a lot of placements in my chart that show that. So what I discovered was based on my own research with the asteroids, the centaurs, and the dwarf planets, I found that there are several bodies that could indicate. Now it depends on, of course, what sign it's in and the combination of other planets and also what houses they're in. So the list I came up with was several asteroids, well, bodies. One is Astronautica. Um, it's what is this one called? It has a designation number. I'll show you how to work it. So first of all, there's Astronautica, Imhotep, Urania, Bennu, Ate, Lucifer, Altjira, and Gonggong. Now, based on today's astrology, many people are familiar with Uranus and Chiron. Those also indicate placements, but it's better when it's conjunct or trine, maybe sextile. You have to put work into it. With the sun and or Mars. Okay, the reason is because the sun is like, it really makes you feel good. It shines with you. It's where you shine, you feel really like, vitalized. Mars is where your energy, you put in a lot of energy. If you have only Mars there, it means you put a lot of energy into it, but it may not necessarily feel like it shines. However, if it's in the sun, it makes you shine, but do you put a lot of energy into it? So you see, it depends. So if you have the more, the better, basically. If you have all these planets and somehow it just happened to collide all of these together with Sun and Mars and in, let's say, Scorpio, Aquarius, Capricorn, or Cancer, or any of the signs really, plus with the conjunction of Pluto and or Saturn, you're like major obsessed with like full-on astrology. Okay, even astronomy, actually, both actually, anything to do with the stars, really. So astronomy, astrophysics, astrology, being an astronaut as well, and especially if it's in like the houses that really make you shine, or you necessarily shine like as in like to show people. So let's say if it was in the first house, you really embody that. It's kind of like what you do, right? Um, and if it's in the second house, that one was more like the earth houses, the second, the sixth, and the 10th. Those would signify more like accomplishments that you would put in or things that you would work hard for. Um, but in the second house, it's simple. It's simpler because it is Taurus. If it is in the sign of Taurus somehow, any of them placement, any of the combinations and the aspects and all that stuff, if it's strong in Taurus, it has to be simple. Like simple as in no complexities. Otherwise, it's in Scorpio, and Scorpio likes the complexities. So astrology might not work necessarily for Taurus because I've seen that before, time and time and time and time and time again. It's like can't. Gemini can. It's just more out of curiosity. Cancer will be tenacious, but it ties in more with if astrology. You would tend to focus more on past life stuff. Anything that is, again, that also means it's in the fourth house as well. Now, if it's in the first house, you can embody it, but going back to the first house, by the way, but it comes in bursts, you know, especially if it's in Aries as well. You might be going for it, but then you need to back up with something more stable, right? It's a burst of energy. It doesn't really last long. And again, same thing. The more, the better. And if in the sign if it's in Leo, that's even better too. But it has to be fun. It has to be recreational. So it's more like a hobby. And again, the sixth house, then going back to the Earth stuff, it would work, but it'd be more like you have to kind of snowball affect it, right? It'd be like it has to become a habit. Um, Doing the little things, a little bit of research, doing that kind of stuff. In Libra, it'd be more like you would have to really work with people. It's best when you learn from somebody or you work together in a group, you go to classes or something like that. Similar to Virgo as well in Gemini. Now and then, if you go to Scorpio, that's absolutely strong. Like, that's no doubt. And then if you go to Sagittarius, it would have a more spiritual feel to it. You would probably be feeling like you have to go to university for it or something like that. Especially, or like the ninth house, specifically the ninth house. 10th house, again, would be strong as well. You would work hard at it. It'd be part of your career, your vocation, especially if it's close to the midheaven. Even towards Nadir, it says Cancer. But for me, that's what it is. I have my placements. I have Urania, Imhotep, Sun, conjunct Pluto, all in the Nadir. But I also have Astronautica conjunct my North Node. And also, oh, I also forgot about Perun. There's another asteroid there, Perun. Totally forgot about Perun. I also have that close to my North Node. Um, but it's actually towards the second house. So it affects the second house, not the first house. But it is with the other planet. There's other asteroids conjunct it. So it's that whole, it makes sense. But I also have Vesta. That's the other one. Vesta Chiron. I have Vesta conjunct my North Node. So that means that Vesta is also about that. It's not necessarily she's not about astrology. The specific asteroids that are really about astrology are Astronautica, Imhotep, Urania, and Uranus. The rest are more about stars, but there's still a link to that. Um, Going back to the whole signs things and the houses, if all those placements, again, the more the better, Sun and or Mars and or Pluto and or Saturn and or also one or two or all of these, Uranus is also part of this one, these asteroids, these bodies, Uranus will make it kind of very electric and random, but it's still there. What would happen is you'd have a very powerful effect on you. Be like, especially to your sun, even Mars, be like, oh my goodness, I love this stuff, right? Also Moon as well. It'd be kind of like part of your habits as well. You'd put a lot of effort into it. I totally forgot about the Moon. Sorry. So going back to the whole thing, so Capricorn or the 10th house in Aquarius and or the 11th house, again, and or, it would be more like it had to be kind of a different feel to it. Like it definitely be like something highly innovative, like different, but also like in a group, you work better in a group setting. If it's something that actually benefits humanity, if it makes you feel good that way, if it's that kind of stuff. Yeah, it kind of ties in with Scorpio and Virgo. If it feels like it's voluntary or it's cathartic. Cathartic is more like a Scorpio thing, but if it feels like that, yeah. So again, it depends. I would say the Pluto and the Saturn would add a lot of emphasis to it. Actually, especially Mars as well. Okay, like it's almost like this obsession thing. But it depends. If your Mercury is somewhere else, it might be a challenge, right? If your Mercury is somewhere, usually Mercury doesn't, what do you call this? Mercury doesn't go beyond the sign, its neighboring signs, no more than one sign. So if your sun is in Leo and you have your Mercury in Virgo or Cancer, it'd be better in Cancer because that means there's more tenacity. Virgo would just be like, I'm going for it. If it's the Mercury is in Leo, just with your sun in Leo, what would happen is it might be a little too much to within all the details. It would have to be a little bit more, kind of like Taurus, simple, but at the same time more artistic. You'd have to have an artistic flair to it, right? Again, it depends, right? So, and then last, if it's in Pisces, it'd be kind of vacillating. That's similar to Gemini, similar to Libra, right? A bit of Sagittarius. So it depends. So yeah. So I almost forgot to do this as I'm gonna insert. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna show you how to access that. Okay, so let's say we go into and let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste the numbers. I think it's gonna be hold on. So all you gotta do is go to um your go to astro.com. You can probably see here. Okay. If you have a profile, set up a profile. It's very direct. Okay. I really highly recommend just pushing through it. Sometimes it can be a bit complicated. Open up a profile. It's free. And then just put in what do you call this? Your name, right? Add in your data, right? You want to add data to this. Okay. You know your time of birth, da da da. Okay. You know, right here. Okay, fill this up. Okay, with your date of birth, time of birth. If you don't know what it is, look up the archives. Go to an astrologer and ask them for a rectification to get as close to the date as possible. That's kind of tricky, but there's ways around it. Okay, at the very least, what you can do is, let's say you have John here, and let's say, I don't know, 1st of January, I don't know, 1991, something like that. And you say you don't know, right? And then so let's see, you're born in UK, I don't know, somewhere. Let's go with Abbeytown. I don't know. Okay, let's say go with Abbeytown, right? And let's say yeah, and then there's a profile right there. So you have a profile. Make sure you click on all objects, include the descending node. You need that. Don't, I think that's it for now. And then input Chiron. You want to shift it. You want to hold the control. If you're on PC, there's a control button, I think, or on Microsoft, it's control. In Apple, it's command. Okay, because if you go like this and you just go shift, it highlights the rest of that. Okay. And then you go to this section here, asteroid name number list with 225,641 names. Look up Astronautica. Control find or command find. Astronautica. Click on that box. Look up also Ate. Oops. I have a different keyboard here. Actually, just Ate. This is the one. Okay. 111 is the number, designated number, the registered number. I think that's what it's called. And then go to Altjira. Altjira, Altjira. Okay. And there's also then Chiron. You have Chiron there. What else do we have here? Bennu. Alphabetically speaking, the next one on the list is Bennu. Okay. Next one is Gonggong, the dwarf planet. Next one on the list would be Imhotep. You've seen the mummy, not with whatever his name is, with Brandon Fraser. Okay, he was there. That's not that Imhotep. Next one on the list is Lucifer. You're like, oh, Lucifer, it's a demon. But that's part of that. Okay, and the next one on the list is Perun. He was a Celtic god, sorry, a Slavic god of lightning, kind of like Thor. Okay. And then you have Urania. I think that's the last one. Yeah, Urania. Okay, and just either go back to the top or go to the bottom. You'll see it. Mine's blocking that little button there, so I'm going to go on top here. And then just go to your chart. It'll show in the chart, right? See, it says 12 objects. See, even without the houses, you're still gonna find. So John here, 1991, could be drawn to astrology. There's a potential for that. There might be that he might have all these other things. So we're not reading his chart right now. The point is, Bennu is conjunct his sun, but also Uranus. So this person might have been actually that. So if there's a John out there born January 1st, 1991, right? Good for you, right? Saturn's conjunct his north node, so he must be really hard working with this one. But at the same time, it depends on the other placements. There's a bunch of other things to read here, but the point is that's one of them. So that's an example, okay? So this is just an example profile. So there you go. So you have all those. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this list here with this number. I think it should be the same one I got. Not really. Okay. So that includes also Chiron and also Vesta. Okay. And when you look at your chart, you don't forget Uranus is also part of that list. Okay. So Pluto might be also part of it. I would also probably look into that as well. So Pluto, like I said before, Pluto and also Saturn in terms of like the typical astrological bodies. So I think that's about it. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a good one. Bye.